the HQs are just an awesome thing to drive, and probably even better to watch. And this car's been around here quite a few times now, so I've just got to sit back and enjoy the ride.
I'm from Victoria, so I've never really experienced the New South Wales tracks before, but for my first time out, I'm really enjoying it. Love down the hill, love the fish hook, love it all. So
we've had a really hard season this year, so it'll be really good to start from up the front there. So I'm holding off second in the championship, so it'll just got to knuckle down and just try to stay there. So
we've got a few extra guys out here this weekend to make it a bit more challenging, so it should be good racing.
Awesome racing here at Wakefield Park. It's been a long time since we've had some HQs on the program, and thanks to Kumo Tyres, it's the 5th round of the New South Wales State Championship. Let's take a look at the lineup. Matthew Halley from front row, alongside him Ken Wright, then back to Brad Lowe, Grant Tunks, who's been around for a very long time, Scotty Jennings, Ian Wan Lum, the club president, Jared Danaher, Glenn Harris, Novak, O'Meara, Burke. The field continues. Big field of cars here around a very tight circuit. That means one thing, Gary, plenty of action.
Yeah, it certainly is. Isn't it great to see the HQs back? Who said they were dead? These guys have been around for a long time. A lot of people will recognise these cars, and they're still a very strong category here in New South Wales.
And a very affordable and entertaining way to go motor racing. Set for a start now. The cars on the start line. 3.3 litres of Holden inline 6, or 202 cubic inches in the old book. We are away, and it looks like someone missing the start there. 3 wide down the main straight. The ones to watch are certainly Halley and Ken Wright, and Wright making the trip up from Victoria to contest this round.
Yeah, it's great to see some guys coming up from Victoria. The HQs are still very strong all around Australia, and it's good to see Kumo Tyres getting behind them and supporting here at this event.
So as they make their way up the hill here, these cars you can get for still between the $13,000 to $15,000 mark for a front-running vehicle. A couple of competitors dropping a wheel on the dirt, picking up some inside ribble strips. I'm pretty sure the HQs aren't going to be too concerned about the ribble strips around Wakefield Park.
No, they'll run right over the top of them. They need all the track they can get to get these cars around here. As we pick up the leaders here, just coming through the fish hook, car 20, that's Ken Wright. He's got a little bit of a gap on the rest of the pack there.
So the Mexicans showing the New South Welshmen how it's done on their own turf at this stage, and he pretty much should, because Ken Wright is a former Victorian state champion and finished second in the 2004 championship this year. So Wright now brings it down onto the main straight. He's got Haley all over his tail though.
He certainly has. Haley was weaving backwards and forwards there, but you've got to be careful on these cars. You've got to use your head, you've got to slipstream the car and pull out in front. Obviously they've all got the same power, or meant to have the same power, as we see a black flag being shown to one of the cars.
Yeah, so obviously someone getting a bad sportsmanship or some sort of a problem with the start of the race, maybe a jump start. The most prolific Holden, or the most prolific car ever made in Australia, is the HQ Holden. 473,563 vehicles made, would you believe? So they, over the years, the guys have had plenty of spares.
They certainly have. We've probably seen a large proportion of them at the racetrack over the last 10 or 15 years of racing.
Yeah, there's about 240 race cars in the country, and would you believe still 27,500 registered HQ road cars. The Holdens made between 1971 and 1974, and as
Look at these two having a go at each other. They don't care about the statistics. They just want to go out there and race.
There's one common denominator when it comes to HQ racing, and that is rubbing. Oh, as Halley gets given the shoulder, put off the side of the track, and Tunks decides, hang on, I'm going to have a part of this one. Slides through and tries to take second place. Halley on the outside, and I think he's going to lose a spot here and drop back to third.
Yeah, just got a little bit out of shape there. Haley's just been pushed right back. We see it again.
Tunks, he's been around long enough to know that move. Just use most of my exit space up here, and I think you'll find a little bit of dirt there, son.
Yeah, it's all great fun. These guys are having absolute fun. So we just pick it up again. We just see car 20 there,
boom,
trying to go up the inside, car 88. Haley just says, oh, gee, this is not where I want to be. And it looks like Tunks just says, well, thank you very much. If you're going to be out there, I might as well come up the inside of you.
Well, Ken Wright's a very experienced racer and realised that he had to cut off the racetrack there for Matthew Halley. He's not done with yet, though, is Halley, who's still making his way forward, wants to get a little bit of revenge here. A bit of a gap now to Ken Wright out in front. The man making a move, however, in the background is Jared Danaher. He is coming on, and second place is coming back Matthew Halley's way as he dives down the inside of Tunks.
Haley's car just seems to have a little bit more straight line speed there, and he just does the right thing, pulls out just at the last minute, outbrakes him and gets the spot back.
Well, speaking of the right thing, that's what's going on at the front. Ken Wright, who is got himself a very comfortable lead. That is a massive gap in HQ terms. These guys are always very tough racers, and they make about 140 horsepower out of these 3.3 litre inline 6 Holden engines. Very, very even category. The engines are sealed, the gearboxes are sealed, the diffs are sealed. They all run on the same Kumho tyres, Petter's suspension. They all have the same Wade cams. Here is the club president for New South Wales, Ian Wan Lum. And a little bit of oversteer there, but he smokes it up for the crowds.
Yeah, just probably went a little bit too deep there, but look at this, great show. Just shows these cars do have a lot of speed. We see a bit of action in the background there.
But Halley, who seems to have a really very good amount of straight line speed out of that car, is certainly closing the gap to Wright. Looks to the inside. Thank you very much. First place is coming back my way.
Yeah.
Or is it?
No, I think you'll find that the drag up the hill, the car 20's got the inside run there, and Haley's going to have to stay back in second.
The number one in Victoria for 2003 runs a bit wide, goes in too hot, slides the car. He slowed himself right down. Halley with the inside look here. I think he's going to squeeze his way by. Wow, that is great racing. They've left the gap. Ken didn't slam the door. Halley didn't decide to go on with it. And what they've done here, however, is slowed each other down and has allowed Tunks and Danaher to close up even more.
Yeah, this is just great. Isn't it great racing to see? The HQs, they haven't lost any of their charm and appeal. They really are putting on a great show here today at Wakefield Park.
The Kumho tyres, round 5 of the New South Wales State Championship. Halley with a cleaner run out of that corner. He has the inside line and should get the lead here comfortably. Look in the background. Danaher weaves to the inside, dives down on Tunks, and we've got 2 passes going on here at the same time. One for the lead and one for third place.
Look at these cars. 2 abreast down the straight. It's a drag down the front straight here. We've got Haley on the inside. We've got car 20 on the outside. And look at these 2 behind them. They are absolutely right on top of each other.
Slipstreams are an important part of HQ racing. However, I don't think Wakefield Straight is quite long enough to do anything with it. Look at Wright on the outside, as he has been since the start of the main straight. Brad Lowe loses a bit of ground, drops a wheel, and now Wright is going to have the inside line for the next left-hander, and he's going to go on with it. Have a look at this racing. It is incredibly good at the front. I think Halley's been able to stay on the inside. I tell you what, these guys are really showing them how it's done. They have been side by side, and apart from the early lap bingle, they have not rubbed panels. This is fantastic motorsport.
Look, this can be anyone's race here. They've still got about 2 laps to go, and any of these 4 cars. Oh, look at this.
Danaher down the inside with a massive desperation. Hits Wright. Looks like it's been Halley who's been cleaned up, and Brad Lowe has capitalised.
Look at that.
He's gone from 5th to 2nd place.
Absolutely incredible stuff. This is just great action. And Lowe, look at Lowe there. He's wanting a piece of this, but it's no doubt about it. This is great stuff.
Whoever said HQ Holdens had a limited life, they haven't seen their racing. Have a look at this awesome stuff. We have got 5 cars vying for the lead at the moment, and Danaher's thrown it away. He's run wide on the main straight. That's going to cost him dearly. Brad Lowe now has capitalised to take the lead. He was 5th at the start of the last lap.
This is just great stuff, isn't it? The HQs, as I say, they've been around a long time. We can remember them racing up at Bathurst. They started racing in Tasmania. This is just great.
And look in the background, as per usual, who's side by side? It's Wright and Halley. These guys can't separate from each other. They are still side by side, battling out 3rd place in the background. Sensational racing. Danaher's run wide. He's too hot. Big oversteer, big slide. Lowe has gone through. Danaher has got out of shape and gets cleaned up by Wright. Ken Wright, well, Danaher came back onto the racetrack sideways. Poor old Ken Wright's cleaned him up. That has put Danaher out of this one.
Well, that's put pay to Danaher's race. Unfortunately, he was to blame there. He just got it all wrong coming across the top of the track. As we pick up on the previous lap.
This is where it all started. He just was so desperate, Gary. Dived down the inside. Halley gets tagged by Tunks. He turns around.
Yeah, actually bounced off Danaher to straighten him up. They've got no respect for these Kumo tyres, have they?
Well, Danaher was working his hard. Have a look at this big slide. That cost him dearly. Now, have a look at Brad Lowe. This is really smart driving. Danaher slides to the outside. Brad says, thanks a lot. I'll take the race lead. Danaher on the dirt. The car gets sideways, comes back on the track right in front of Ken Wright, who hits him hard. Fair bit of damage to the front of Danaher's car, I would suggest. Gets a bit of a push. Halley goes around the outside and takes third place. And Danaher, who after some brilliance in the first one, is unfortunately found himself off the racetrack. 1 lap left to run. No one's going to catch Lowe.
No, he's capitalised on all that action up the top of the track, and he's just really has pulled out quite a gap, and it's good to see him out in the front.
Well, Brad Lowe would absolutely have a massive smile on his face. He's thought, thanks very much, boys. Take each other out next time, will you please? And as I said, from 5th to 1st in 1 lap, smokes them up onto the main straight.
Yeah, he's a P-plater. This is great to see. A lot of guys getting back into this form of racing, and it's great to see.
Lowe will greet the checkered flag and take the win. What a drive, very fortuitous for him. Matthew Halley will bring it home in second, but the battle is on in earnest for third place. Look at this between Tunks and Wright. They're side by side, and it's going to be Wright by the narrowest of margins. Boy, that was close. Here's the replay. Have a look. Tunks just not enough straight line speed. Let's take a look at the results, but thanks to Kumo tyres, Brad Lowe gets the win. Back then to Matthew Halley. Ken Wright for third, Graham Tunks fourth, Harris, Novak, Burke and Evans rounds out the top 8.
Controversy, tell us about it.
Oh, plenty of it out there. Me and Wrighty having a good run out there out the front, and then next thing you know, Jared's come flying through, and Lowie as well.
Coming into the fishhook 1 lap, he decided, Danaher decided he could pass 3 cars in one go, which ran me off the track, and then we all rejoined, not a drama, and then going up over the castle, he had a bit of a moment through the left-hander, which stuffed him up for the right-hander. And then before I knew it, he was just coming straight back into the left front guard on me.
Mate, I think it's he got what he deserves out there, so it's not racing, mate.
Tough day this weekend. It's our first weekend out at Wakefield, and yeah, had a little leading the race, and I made a drive error, went off the circuit and came back on, and got a bit of a tag and pushed along the track for a while, and a few contacts here and there, but yeah, pretty disappointing result for everyone involved, I think. But look, it was really good, really close racing, and yeah, looking forward to get back out on the track soon. So.
Well, the action continued in race number 2, the trophy race. This is the last corner of the last lap, and Ken Wright with a big move down the inside of Michael Halley made it stick, and then the run to the checkered flag. Wright gets there, but a very tight battle with Halley picking up second and Bradley Lowe taking third.